Hello there, and welcome to Quiet Wisdom. I'm so glad you found your way here. The day is over. The work is done. The noise of the modern world, the traffic, the phones, the demands, is fading away behind you. You have reached the frontier. Take a moment to get comfortable. Listen to the rain falling against the window. It is a heavy, steady rhythm, a curtain of water that separates you from everything else. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the tongue rest on the floor of your mouth. Allow your breathing to slow down, matching the rhythm of the rain. Tonight, we are going west. We are traveling back to the open range of the 1870s. But we are not here for the gunfights or the gold rushes. We are here for the silence. We are here for the smell of the sagebrush, the creak of the saddle leather, and the warmth of the campfire under a sky filled with 1,000,000 stars. We are going to ride the trail, set up the camp, and sleep on the earth. You do not need to keep watch. The fire is lit. The herd is settled. You just need to drift. And just before we begin, if these quiet journeys help you find rest, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps us keep the campfire burning. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Sea of Grass. We are leaving the city. We are leaving the roads. We are leaving the fences. We are traveling to the Great Plains of North America. It is the year 1876. We are in the middle of the vast territory that stretches from Texas to Kansas. It is a landscape of absolute emptiness and absolute freedom. The sun is high in the sky. It is a pale, hot yellow disk. The heat presses down on the earth, baking the clay, releasing the scent of the land. Smell the air. It smells of dry dust. It smells of sagebrush. A sharp, spicy, herbal scent that clears the lungs. It smells of sun-baked grass and horsehair. You are sitting in the saddle. You are not galloping. You are not racing. You are walking. The rhythm of the cowboy is slow. To move 1,000 cattle 1,000 miles, you cannot rush. If you rush, the cattle lose weight. If you rush, the horses get tired. So you walk. Clop, clop, clop. Feel the movement of the horse beneath you. It is a quarter horse, strong, stocky, reliable. You can feel the muscles of the animal shifting under the saddle. A gentle, swaying motion. Left, right, left, right. It rocks your hips, it loosens your spine. You look out at the horizon. They call this the Sea of Grass. And it is true. The grass is waist-high. It is green turning to gold. The wind moves through it like an invisible hand, creating ripples and waves that travel for miles until they vanish into the sky. There is no end to it. To the north, grass. To the south, grass. To the west, the distant purple line of the horizon. It is a landscape that forces the mind to be quiet. There is nothing to focus on. There are no billboards, no buildings, no text, just the line where the earth meets the sky. You are wearing the uniform of the range, not a costume, but a set of tools. On your head, a wide-brimmed hat, felt, heavy. It pulls down low over your eyes, shading you from the glare of the sun. It creates a private shadow for your face. Around your neck, a bandana, silk or cotton. It is red, faded to pink by the sun. It protects your neck from the burn. On your legs, chaps, leather leggings that cover your trousers. They are stiff and scratched. They protect you from the thorns and the brush. You listen to the sound of the leather. The saddle is made of heavy, tanned cowhide. As the horse moves, the leather rubs against leather. Creak, squeak, creak, squeak. It is the signature sound of the West, a sound of friction and utility. You are riding point. You are at the front of the herd. You look back over your shoulder. Behind you, the herd is moving. 2,000 Texas Longhorns. They are not like modern cows. They are wilder, leaner. Their horns stretch out 5-6 feet across. They move in a long, thin line, stretching back for a mile. A river of red and brown and white hides flowing through the green grass. They are quiet today. The heat has made them drowsy. You hear the clicking of their hooves. Click, click. The clicking of their horns as they bump against each other. Clack. And the sound of their breathing. A low, collective exhale. It is a peaceful invasion. You are the shepherd of this massive organism. You do not force it. You guide it. If a steer wanders too far to the left, you gently turn your horse. You trot over. The horse knows what to do. It nudges the steer back into the line. No shouting, no whips, just presence. The day wears on. The sun begins its slow descent toward the west. The light changes. It turns from the harsh white of noon to the golden hour. The light hits the dust kicked up by the cattle. It turns the dust into a cloud of gold mist. The horns of the cattle gleam. The heat begins to break. The air cools down. You take a sip of water from your canteen. It is wrapped in wet canvas to keep it cool by evaporation. The water tastes of tin and the river you crossed yesterday. It is refreshing. You feel a sense of solitude, but not loneliness. You are alone in your thoughts, but you are part of a unit. The horse, the herd, the other riders. You see another cowboy, half a mile away on the other flank. He waves a hand. You nod. That is the only communication you need. All is well. As the afternoon deepens, the weather begins to shift. This is common on the plains. The sky is so big that you can see the weather coming from 100 miles away. You look to the north. Dark clouds are gathering. They are piling up. Massive, towering thunderheads. Cumulonimbus. They are bruised purple and slate gray. They look like mountains floating in the air. The wind shifts. It picks up speed. The grass stops rustling and starts hissing. Shh. You smell the rain before it arrives. Petrichor. The scent of rain hitting dry earth. It is a chemical reaction. The oils in the plants and the dust in the soil are released by the moisture. It smells sweet, dusty, electric. You reach behind your saddle. You untie your slicker. This is your raincoat. It is a long coat made of canvas, treated with linseed oil. It is bright yellow. It is heavy. You pull it on. It is stiff. It crinkles. Crinkle. Snap. You button it up to your chin. It covers you from neck to boot. It feels like putting on armor. A shield against the storm. The first drops fall. They are big, heavy drops. Warm at first. Plop. One hits your hat brim. Plop. One hits your horse's neck. The horse shakes its mane. And then the curtain falls. The rain sweeps across the prairie. You can see the line of it approaching, erasing the horizon. It hits you. Drum. 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 It beats against your oilskin coat. It beats against your hat. But you are dry inside. The sound is loud, but comforting. It encloses you. The world shrinks. You can no longer see the miles of grass. You can only see the few feet around your horse. You are in a bubble of rain. The dust is settled. The air is washed clean. The herd slows down. The cattle lower their heads against the rain. Their hides turn dark and slick. They keep walking, plodding. You keep walking. There is a resilience in this. The storm is big, but the drive continues. You feel the water running off your hat brim. A steady stream. You are elemental. You are made of leather and wool and oilskin. You are built for this environment. The rhythm of the horse does not change. Clop. Squish. Clop. Squish. The hooves are in the mud now. A softer sound. You relax into the saddle. You hunch your shoulders slightly against the wind. You let the horse do the thinking. You are just a passenger on the plains, safe inside your coat, safe inside the rhythm. The trail goes on forever, but you don't have to walk it all tonight. You just have to take the next step, and the next. The rain washes away the heat. It washes away the dust. It prepares the world for the evening. You are riding toward the camp, toward the fire, toward the rest. But for now, stay in the saddle. Feel the sway. Feel the protection of the slicker. Ride, ride, sleep. Chapter 2. The Longhorn Herd. The rain shower has passed. The dark clouds have rolled eastward, leaving behind a sky that is scrubbed clean and a landscape that is glistening with moisture. The scent of the wet sagebrush is intense now, rising from the ground in visible waves of vapor as the sun reclaims the afternoon. We turn our attention now from the horizon to the foreground. We look at the reason we are here. We look at the river of animals flowing slowly across the map. The herd. To understand the cowboy, you must understand the longhorn. We are not looking at the docile, heavy dairy cows of a European farm. We are looking at a creature shaped by the wilderness, the Texas longhorn. It is a survivor. It is a descendant of the Spanish cattle brought over by the conquistadors 300 years ago, mixed with the wild English stock of the early settlers. They escaped into the brush country of South Texas. They went feral. They learned to survive droughts, wolves, and thorns. They evolved. Look closely at the animal nearest to you. It is lean. It does not have the blocky, fat shape of a modern beef cow. It has high shoulders and long legs. It moves with the grace of a deer, not the lumbering gait of livestock. Its hide is a map of the frontier. The colors are chaotic and beautiful. No two longhorns look alike. Some are roan, a speckled mixture of red and white hairs that looks like pink granite. Some are brindle, tiger striped with black and orange. Some are dun, a soft sandy beige that blends into the dry grass. Some are paint, splashed with large patches of white against dark brown. You watch the hides shifting as they walk. It is a kaleidoscope of natural tones: red, brown, black, white, gray, yellow. And then, the horns. They are massive. They curve outward from the skull, twist slightly, and then point upward. From tip to tip, they span 5, sometimes 6 feet. They are made of bone, covered in a sheath of keratin. They are polished by the brush. They are scarred from battles for dominance. As the herd moves, the horns sway. Listen to the sound. It is a specific music of the trail. Click, clack, click, clack. When the animals crowd together, their horns gently bump against each other. It is a dry, hollow sound, like drumsticks hitting a wooden block. It is a continuous rolling percussion that travels down the line. There are 2,000 animals in this herd, a massive living organism made of muscle and bone. It is stretched out over a mile. The herd has a shape. It is not a random blob. It has anatomy. At the front, there are the lead steers. These are the kings of the herd. They are not chosen by the cowboys. They are chosen by the other cattle. They are the natural leaders. There is one steer, a massive blue roan, who always walks in front. He knows the way. He steps out with a long, swinging stride. He does not need to be driven. He pulls the herd forward. The cowboys call him Old Blue, or simply the Point. He sets the pace. If he walks fast, the herd walks fast. If he slows down, the herd slows down. He is the metronome. Behind the leaders come the swing cattle. They flank the main body, keeping the line straight. Then the flank, the main mass of the herd, the solid block of moving bodies. And finally, at the very back, the drag. This is where you are riding today. The drag is the hardest position, but it is also the most meditative. You are behind everything. You are watching 2,000 pairs of hips swaying in unison. Left, right, left, right. The movement is hypnotic. It creates a seasickness on dry land if you stare at it too long. The dust hangs in the air here. Even after the rain, the ground is drying out, and the thousands of hooves pulverize the soil into a fine powder. The dust rises. It creates a golden haze in the late afternoon light. It filters the sun. You pull your bandana up over your nose. The silk filters the air. You breathe through the fabric. The smell of the herd is all around you. It is a heavy animal smell. It smells of wet hide, of grass being digested, of dust, and of the earth. It is not an unpleasant smell. It is a primal one. It smells of life on a massive scale. The drag riders have a job. Their job is to encourage the slow, the lame, the lazy. There is always a calf that wants to stop and sleep. There is always an old steer with a sore hoof that lags behind. You ride your horse toward them. You do not shout. You do not whip them. You just make your presence felt. You ride up beside the lagging steer. The horse nudges it. The steer grunts. It looks at you with large, liquid brown eyes. It sighs, and it starts walking again. It rejoins the flow. The herd is a river. It flows over the landscape. It pours through the valleys and trickles over the ridges. It follows the path of least resistance. The cattle are not thinking about the destination. They do not know about the railhead in Kansas. They do not know about the markets in Chicago. They only know about the grass in front of their noses. They take a step. They bite a mouthful of grass. They chew. They take another step. Step, bite, chew. It is a cycle of consumption and movement. You watch them graze as they walk. The longhorn has a rough tongue. You can hear the sound of them tearing the grass. R-rip. It is a satisfying sound. The sound of energy being gathered. The pace is slow, 10 miles a day, maybe 12. If you move them faster, they walk the fat off their bodies. The trail boss wants them fat, so you move at a snail's pace. You learn to slow your own internal clock. In the city, time is measured in minutes. Here, time is measured in miles. You look at the sun. It is your clock. It is hanging low in the western sky, turning from yellow to a deep, burning orange. The shadows of the cattle stretch out. Long, spindly shadows that reach across the prairie grass, connecting the animals to the earth. You feel the heat of the animal bodies radiating toward you. The herd generates its own microclimate. It is warmer near the cows. The flies buzz lazily in the warm air. They hover over the backs of the steers. Your horse shakes its head, jingling the bit. Ching-ching. The horse is tired. It walks with its head low. It knows the day is almost over. You relax in the saddle. You let your legs hang long in the stirrups. You hold the reins loosely in one hand. You are not steering the horse. The horse knows its job. It follows the cows. You are just a passenger on the back of a passenger. You let your mind drift. You look at the patterns on the cattle. You try to find two that match. You cannot. You look at the brand on the flank of a nearby steer. A shape burned into the hide. The running W, or the XIT. It is a mark of ownership, but out here it feels abstract. Nobody owns this land. Nobody owns the wind. The cattle belong to the grass more than they belong to the rancher. The herd begins to sing. It is not a song of voices. It is a song of digestion. The cattle are ruminants. They have 4 stomachs. As they walk, they are constantly processing the grass. You hear the low, gurgling rumbles of 2,000 stomachs working. Gurgle, rumble, groan. It is a comforting sound. It means the animals are healthy. It means they are full. Occasionally a cow will low, a deep, resonant moo that starts low in the chest and rises in pitch. It is a sound of contact. I am here. Where are you? Another cow answers from the front of the herd. The sound carries for miles in the clear air. You pass a patch of sunflowers. They brush against your stirrups. The yellow heads bob in the wake of the passing army. You pass a dried-up creek bed. The cattle slide down the bank, their hooves crunching in the gravel, and scramble up the other side. The dust rises thicker for a moment, then settles. You are moving through history. Millions of buffalo once walked this same path. They carved these trails. The longhorns are just following the ghosts of the bison. You feel a connection to that deep past. The cycle of the grazer and the grass. The sun touches the horizon. The light turns violet. The gloaming. The colors of the herd mute. The red roans and the yellow duns all fade into a uniform gray-brown. The horizon blurs. The trail boss, riding miles ahead, signals. He holds up his hat. It is time to bed down. The lead steers stop. They know the drill. They spread out. The tight line of the column diffuses. The river spreads into a lake. The cattle begin to mill. They walk in slow circles, looking for a place to lie down. They sniff the ground. They turn around 3 times. It is an ancient instinct, checking for snakes, checking the wind. And then they drop. Thump. 1 steer goes down, then another, then 10, then 100. It is a domino effect of rest. The heavy bodies settle onto the earth. They tuck their legs beneath them. They lower their heavy heads. They start to chew the cud. Chew. 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 The sound of the walking stops. The clicking of the hooves stops. Now, there is only the sound of the chewing and the breathing. A low, rhythmic rasping. The dust settles completely. The air clears. You ride your horse slowly around the edge of the sleeping herd. You are checking the perimeter. You are shaping the edges. You see the steam rising from their flanks in the cooling evening air. A low fog of body heat. It looks peaceful. It looks like a field of boulders that have suddenly appeared in the grass. You feel a sense of accomplishment. You moved them. You kept them together. You brought them to this spot. The work of the drive is done for the day. The drag is over. You turn your horse away from the herd. You head toward the thin column of smoke rising in the distance. The chuckwagon, the camp. The thought of coffee, the thought of beans, the thought of fire pulls you in. But you take one last look at the herd. 2,000 souls resting in the grass. They are content. They are not worrying about tomorrow. They are not worrying about the market price of beef. They are just chewing. You take a deep breath. You inhale the cooling air. You let your own muscles soften. You pat the neck of your horse. Easy now, you whisper. The day is done. The sun is gone. The longhorns are sleeping. You are safe in the vastness. You are just a speck in the sea of grass, but you are a warm speck. You are a living speck. Let the rhythm of the chewing settle your mind. Slow, repetitive, endless. The earth holds the cattle. The cattle hold the ground. You ride slowly toward the fire, drifting through the dust and the twilight. Rest. Chapter 3. The Storm on the Plains. The sun has been a heavy weight on your shoulders for 10 hours. The dust of the drag has coated the inside of your mouth and settled into the creases of your neck. The heat of the afternoon has been absolute, a shimmering curtain that distorted the horizon and made the distant hills look like they were floating in water. But now, the world is changing. You are the first to feel it. You are riding on the high ground. a slight rise in the prairie that offers a view for 20 miles in every direction. The wind shifts. All day the wind has been blowing from the south, a hot, dry breath coming up from Mexico. But now it stops. The grass stands still. The seed heads stop bobbing. The silence is sudden and heavy. Then a new breeze touches your cheek. It comes from the north. It is cool. It carries moisture. You look up. The sky, which has been a pale, bleached blue all day, is bruising. On the northern horizon, the clouds are building. These are not the fluffy white clouds of a summer afternoon. These are the cumulonimbus, the anvils. They rise up like mountains made of iron. They are dark, slate gray at the base, towering up into brilliant white peaks that touch the top of the atmosphere. They look solid. They look heavy. They are moving fast. You can see the shadow of the clouds racing across the grass, devouring the sunlight. The herd senses it too. The clicking of the horns stops. The lowing stops. The cattle lift their heads. They sniff the air. Their nostrils flare. They smell what you smell. Ozone. It is a sharp, metallic scent. It smells like clean electricity. It smells like sparks. And underneath the ozone, the smell of petrichor, the scent of rain hitting dry earth. It is the smell of the soil releasing its oils. It is a sweet, dusty, desperate smell. The earth is thirsty, and the water is coming. You do not panic. A cowboy does not panic at the weather. He accepts it. He prepares for it. You rein in your horse. The horse is nervous. His ears are twitching, swiveling back and forth to catch the sound of the distant thunder. You pat his neck. The hair is hot and dusty. Easy, you whisper. You reach behind you to the cantle of your saddle. Tied there with leather thongs is a tight roll of yellow canvas. The slicker. This is the most important tool you own after your saddle. It is a fish brand slicker, or perhaps a Towers. It is made of heavy cotton canvas, treated with multiple coats of linseed oil. It is stiff. It is sticky in the heat. It smells of oil and paint. You untie the leather thongs. You unroll the coat. It makes a crackling sound as you shake it out. Crinkle. Snap. You slip your arms into the sleeves. The canvas is thick. It feels like putting on a second skin. It covers you from your chin down to your boots. It has a split in the back so it can drape over the saddle and cover your legs. You button it up. The buttons are metal. They click into place. You turn up the collar. It is high, lined with corduroy or wool. It protects your neck. You are now waterproof. You are sealed. The air temperature drops. In the span of 10 minutes, it falls 20 degrees. The sweat on your forehead turns cold. It feels refreshing. The light changes. The golden hour is gone. The world turns a strange, luminous green. This is the color of a hail sky, the color of deep water. The grass looks unnaturally bright against the dark wall of the approaching storm. The first drop falls. It is not a mist. It is a heavy, fat drop of water. Plop. It hits the brim of your hat, your Stetson. The felt of the hat is dense, made of beaver fur. It is designed for this. Plop. Plop. More drops hit the dust. They kick up little puffs of powder. The ground is speckled with dark circles. And then the bottom falls out. The rain arrives in a sheet. It is a gray curtain sweeping across the plain. You watch it overtake the herd. The cattle vanish into the mist, turning into dark, ghostly shapes. Then it overtakes you. The sound is immense. It is a roar. Shh. It drums against your slicker. It beats against your hat. It runs in rivulets down your arms, but you are dry. Inside the yellow coat, you are warm. Your body heat is trapped. You feel a sense of extreme coziness. The contrast between the violence of the water outside and the dryness inside is profound. You are in a personal shelter. You pull your hat brim down low. The brim acts as a gutter. The water channels to the front and drips off the nose of the hat, creating a tiny waterfall in front of your face. You watch the water fall. It blurs the world. The thunder rolls. It is not a sharp crack nearby. It is a deep, bowling ball rumble that travels across the sky from west to east. Rumble, grumble, boom. You can feel the vibration in your chest. The earth absorbs the sound. The lightning flashes. It is a vein of white fire inside the clouds. It illuminates the prairie for a split second, freezing the motion of the grass, freezing the motion of the horse's mane. Then it is dark again. The herd has stopped walking. Cattle will not walk into a storm. They turn their tails to the wind. They drift. The lead steers lower their heads. The rain runs off their backs. Their hides turn dark and sleek. The dust is washed away, revealing the true colors of their coats. The red roan becomes a deep crimson. The dun becomes a dark bronze. They huddle together. The steam rises from 2,000 warm bodies. It mixes with the cold rain, creating a low fog that hovers over the animals. You ride slowly around the edge of the herd. Your job now is just to be there, to be a presence. You ride the singing watch. You do not shout. You hum. You sing low, mournful tunes. The sound of the human voice calms the animals. It tells them that the predator is not here. It tells them that the storm is just noise. You hum a hymn or a ballad. The melody gets lost in the sound of the rain, but the vibration remains. The ground is changing. The dry, cracked clay is drinking the water. It turns to mud. Your horse's hooves make a different sound now. Squelch, suck, squelch, suck. The mud is slippery. The horse moves carefully. He places his feet with precision. You trust him. You let the reins hang loose. You do not try to steer. You are just a passenger in the storm. There is a feeling of suspension during a rainstorm on the plains. Time seems to stop. You cannot see the sun to tell the time. You cannot see the landmarks. You are enclosed in a gray room of water. You turn your thoughts inward. This is the solitude of the cowboy. It is not a lonely feeling. It is a private feeling. You listen to the rain hitting the canvas of your coat. Tap, 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 tap. It is a frantic rhythm, but it creates a white noise that blanks out your thoughts. You watch the water dripping from your horse's ears. He flicks them. The water sprays. You look at the sagebrush. The gray-green leaves are soaking up the moisture. They look silver in the rain. The smell is overpowering now. Clean, sharp, medicinal. It clears your head. The violence of the storm begins to fade. The thunder moves off to the east, rumbling like a retreating army. The lightning becomes distant flashes, soft pulses of light in the clouds. The rain changes character. It stops being a hard, driving storm and settles into a steady, soaking shower. This is the $1 million rain. The rain that makes the grass grow. The rain that fills the creeks. The cowboy loves this rain. He knows it means the waterholes will be full tomorrow. He knows the dust will be gone. You sit there, letting the water wash over you. You feel clean. The grit in your teeth is gone. The sweat is gone. The world is being reset. As the rain softens, the sounds of the prairie return. You hear a meadowlark singing, a clear, flute-like call. It pierces the gray air. You hear the cattle shaking themselves, a wet, flapping sound. The herd begins to move again, not fast, just shifting, turning back toward the trail. The point steer, Old Blue, shakes his massive head. He steps forward. The others follow. The river of cattle starts to flow again, muddy and wet, but refreshed. You nudge your horse. You fall in behind the drag. The air is cool now. The heat of the day is broken. You shiver slightly, but it is a good shiver. It wakes you up. You look ahead. Through the curtain of the rain, you see a light, a faint yellow flicker in the distance. It is the Chuckwagon. The cook has gone ahead. He has found a campsite near a creek. He has managed to light a fire, despite the wet wood. That fire is your beacon. It is the center of your universe for the night. You ride toward it. The anticipation of warmth is a powerful thing. You imagine the coffee, hot, black, bitter. You imagine the Dutch oven sitting in the coals, the biscuits rising, the beans bubbling. You imagine getting off the horse, stretching your legs, taking off the wet slicker. But you are not there yet. You are still in the saddle. You enjoy the last few minutes of the ride. The rain is tapering off. It is just a drizzle now, a mist. The clouds in the west are breaking up. A shaft of sunlight breaks through. It is low, red, and horizontal. It hits the wet grass. The prairie lights up. Every blade of grass has a drop of water on the tip. The light hits the water and turns it into a field of diamonds. It is blindingly beautiful, the rainbow of the west. You watch the colors. The deep indigo of the storm clouds retreating in the east, the brilliant gold of the sun in the west, the emerald green of the wet grass. You feel a deep sense of gratitude. You are out here, in the middle of nowhere, witnessing the earth breathe. You are not in an office. You are not in a factory. You are in the elements. The horse walks on. Clop squish, clop squish. You reach the edge of the camp. You see the white canvas top of the wagon. It glows in the twilight. You see the other cowboys riding in. They look like yellow ghosts in their slickers. They are tired. They are wet. But they are smiling. The storm is over. The night has arrived. You pull up your horse. You swing your leg over the saddle horn. You drop to the ground. Your boots hit the mud. Thud. You loosen the cinch. You pull the saddle off. It is heavy, damp leather. You swing it onto the rail of the corral rope. You rub the horse down. You turn him loose to graze. You stand there for a moment. You unbutton the slicker. Snap. Snap. You peel it off. Underneath, your shirt is dry. Your vest is dry. You hang the yellow coat on the wagon wheel to drip. You walk toward the fire. The heat hits your face. It feels intense after the cool rain. You hold out your hands. The smoke curls up. It smells of mesquite wood and coffee. The transition is complete. You have moved from the wide, wet, chaotic world of the storm to the small, dry, warm circle of the camp. You have survived the elements. Now, it is time to feed the body. It is time to rest the mind. The sea of grass is dark now. The horizon has disappeared. There is only the firelight. You are safe in the circle. The rain is just a memory, a soft dripping from the edge of the wagon canvas. Drip, drip, drip. It counts down the moments until sleep. You are grounded. You are home. Rest. Rest in the warmth. Sleep. Chapter 4. The Chuckwagon. The rain has settled into a soft, rhythmic dripping from the brim of your hat. The storm has passed over, leaving the air scrubbed clean and the prairie silence deeper than before. You have dismounted. Your boots are heavy with the mud of the trail, anchoring you to the earth. Ahead of you stands the heart of the camp, the nucleus of the cowboy's world, the Chuckwagon. It stands alone in the vastness of the plains, a silhouette against the twilight sky. To the untrained eye, it is just a vehicle, a box on wheels. But to you, after 12 hours in the saddle, it is a castle. It is a restaurant. It is a home. Let us walk around this object. Let us appreciate the engineering of survival. It is likely a Studebaker, or perhaps a Bain, built in Indiana far from the dust of Texas. It was built to endure. The body is made of seasoned hickory, wood that was cut, dried, and shaped to resist the warping heat of the desert and the soaking rains of the spring. Run your hand along the sideboards. The wood is rough, painted a dull green or blue, but the paint has been sandblasted by the wind until the grain shows through. It feels like driftwood. The wheels are massive, 5 feet high in the back, slightly smaller in the front. They are made of oak spokes, radiating out from an iron hub like the rays of a sun. The rim is wrapped in an iron tire, a solid hoop of metal, heated red hot and shrunk onto the wood. It holds the wheel together. Listen to the wheels as the cook moves inside. Creak. Settle. The iron tires have crushed the grass. They have sunk an inch into the soft mud. The wagon is grounded. It is not going anywhere tonight. Underneath the wagon hangs the possum belly. It is not an animal. It is a sling. A hammock made of stretched cowhide, suspended from the chassis by chains. It swings gently. Inside the possum belly is the fuel. Dry wood, pieces of oak, mesquite, or dried buffalo chips gathered days ago before the rain. This is the genius of the Chuckwagon. It carries its own fire. Even when the prairie is wet, even when the trees are miles away, the wagon has dry fuel in its belly. It guarantees warmth. But the true magic is at the back. The cook, the cookie, the king of this domain, walks to the rear of the wagon. He undoes a leather latch. Click. He lowers the tailgate. It swings down on heavy iron hinges. A leg folds out to support it. It locks into place. Clunk. The tailgate has become a table, a workbench, a desk, and revealed behind it is the chuck box. This is a masterpiece of cabinet making. It is a chest of drawers built directly into the back of the wagon. It is a puzzle of storage. Look at the drawers. There are a dozen of them, some deep, some shallow. Each one has a specific purpose. Each one has a place in the hierarchy of the meal. The cook pulls them open. Slide. Thud. The top drawer. The silverware. Not silver, of course. Tin. Stamped steel forks. Knives with bone handles, worn smooth by years of use. Spoons that have been bent and straightened 100 times. They rattle softly. The middle drawer. The spices. This is the treasury. Small tin cans with rusted lids, salt, pepper, cinnamon, and the most precious of all, cayenne. The heat for the beans, the side shelves, the medicines, a bottle of whiskey for snakebite, a jar of castor oil, a tin of salve for saddle sores. The wagon is the hospital, as well as the kitchen. The smell coming from the chuck box is complex. It is the scent of domesticity in the wild. It smells of flour dust. It smells of dried onions. It smells of tobacco and coffee grounds. It smells of the wood itself. Old, dry hickory that has absorbed the aroma of 1,000 dinners. The cook moves with economy. He does not waste a step. He knows exactly where the matches are. He knows exactly where the sugar is. He reaches for the most important item in the box, the sourdough keg. It is a small wooden barrel bound with copper hoops. It sits in a special cubbyhole, protected from the cold. Inside lives the starter. This is a living culture of yeast and bacteria. It is a bubbling beige paste. It has been alive for years. It traveled from the bakery in Texas, up the trail to Kansas, and back again. It is the pet of the wagon. The cook tends to it like a child. He feeds it flour and water every night. He wraps it in blankets when the frost comes. If the keg freezes, the yeast dies. If the yeast dies, there is no bread. If there is no bread, the cowboys revolt. so the keg is sacred. The cook lifts the lid. Pop. The smell escapes. It is a sharp, sour, yeasty smell. It smells of fermentation and life. It cuts through the clean scent of the rain. He takes a scoop of the starter. It stretches. It is elastic. He puts it into a large tin bowl. He adds flour from a 100-pound sack stored in the front of the wagon. He adds water from the barrel lashed to the side. He begins to mix. Slap. Squish. Slap. Squish. The sound of the dough being worked is rhythmic. It is a wet, heavy sound. He is making the biscuits, the staple of the trail. He doesn't weigh the flour. He measures by the handful. He knows the texture by feel. He knows when the dough is ready by the way it pulls away from the sides of the tin bowl. He works by the light of a kerosene lantern hanging from the wagon bow. The yellow light illuminates his hands, rough, scarred, dusted with white flour. He pats the dough out on the tailgate table. He takes a cutter, an old tin can with holes punched in the bottom to let the air out. Cut, twist, lift, cut, twist, lift. Perfect circles of white dough. He places them into the Dutch oven. This is the heavy artillery of the camp kitchen. A cast-iron pot with 3 short legs and a heavy, flanged lid. It is black, seasoned by years of grease and heat. It weighs 20 pounds. He greases the bottom with bacon fat. He arranges the biscuits in a circle, touching each other. He puts the heavy iron lid on. Clang. Now, the fire. The cook goes to the possum belly. He pulls out the dry mesquite wood. He digs a pit in the mud, sheltered by the side of the wagon. He shaves some kindling. He strikes a match on the sole of his boot. Scratch. Hiss. The flame catches. The wood smokes, then bursts into orange light. The heat pushes back the dampness of the evening. It dries the air around the wagon. He waits for the wood to burn down. He does not cook over flames. He cooks over coals. When the wood has turned to glowing red embers, he takes a shovel. He scoops up a pile of coals. He places the Dutch oven on a bed of coals. Then he shovels more coals on top of the lid. This is the secret. Heat from the bottom, heat from the top. The iron pot becomes an oven. Inside, the temperature rises to 400 degrees. The biscuits begin to rise. The cook stands up. He wipes his hands on his apron. He looks at the wagon. It is a marvel of organization. On one side, a water barrel with a long spigot. On the other side, a coffee grinder bolted to the wood. Underneath, the branding irons. Inside, the bedrolls of the crew, stacked high to keep them dry. And stretching over the whole thing, the canvas sheet, the bonnet. It is supported by wooden bows, curved strips of oak. The canvas is white, stained with dust and rain. Tonight, because of the rain, the cook has rigged the fly. A large square of canvas, tied from the top of the wagon to stakes in the ground. It creates a porch, a dry area extending out from the back of the wagon. You step under the fly. The rain is hitting the canvas above your head. Thrum, 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 thrum. It is a loud, comforting drum roll. But underneath, the ground is dry. The fire is warm. You are standing in the kitchen. You lean against the big rear wheel of the wagon. The iron tire is cold against your back, but the fire warms your front. You watch the cook. He is the master of this space. He is usually an older cowboy, one who is too stiff to ride the broncos anymore, or an ex-soldier. He is grumpy, territorial, and precise. He is the doctor. He sews up cuts and pulls teeth. He is the banker. He holds the wages. He is the barber. He cuts hair on Sundays. But mostly he is the provider. He opens the coffee grinder. He pours in the beans. Arbuckle's is Ariosa coffee. The beans come in a 1-pound yellow bag. They are coated in a glaze of sugar and egg white to seal in the flavor. The cook turns the crank. Grind. Crunch. Grind. crunch. The sound is loud and mechanical. It crushes the silence. The smell of the broken beans hits the air. It is powerful, dark, roasted. It is the smell of wakefulness, but tonight it is the smell of comfort. He pours the grounds into the massive coffee pot, the gallon pot. He adds water. He sets it on the coals. You wait. The anticipation of the meal is a physical sensation. You are tired. Your muscles are loose. The adrenaline of the storm has faded, leaving a hollow space that wants to be filled. You look at the other cowboys gathering. They are coming in from the darkness. They step into the circle of light created by the lantern and the fire. They hang their wet slickers on the wagon tongue. They take off their hats and shake the water off. They nod to the cook. They know better than to touch anything on the table. The tailgate is sacred ground. They squat on their heels. This is the cowboy squat, balanced, relaxed, keeping their butts out of the mud. They roll cigarettes. The flare of a match illuminates a face for a second, weather-beaten, unshaven, tired. The smoke from the tobacco mixes with the wood smoke. The camp is forming. The wagon is the anchor. Without the wagon, you are just men in a field. With the wagon, you are a settlement. You have walls, the canvas. You have heat, the fire. You have food, the box. It is a mobile home. The cook lifts the lid of the Dutch oven with a hook. Clang. A cloud of steam escapes. The smell of baking bread, hot, yeasty, buttery, floods the space under the canvas fly. The biscuits are golden brown. They have risen perfectly. "Come and get it," the cook says. He does not shout. He doesn't have to. You stand up. You walk to the tailgate. You take a tin plate from the drawer. It is light and cold. You take a tin cup. The cook ladles beans onto your plate. Red beans, cooked with salt pork and molasses. Thick, heavy. He forks a steak onto your plate. Beef, fried in tallow. He tosses a hot biscuit on top. You pour the coffee. It is black as ink. It is boiling hot. You have to hold the tin cup by the rim to keep from burning your fingers. You step back. You find a dry spot under the wagon, or you sit on a log that the cook has dragged under the shelter. You sit down. The plate warms your legs. The cup warms your hands. The wagon looms over you. The big wooden wheels are like walls. You look up at the underside of the chassis. The wood is stained with grease and mud. It looks solid. This vehicle has traveled 1,000 miles. It has crossed rivers. It has climbed hills. It has rocked and rolled over the prairie. But tonight, it is still. The brake is set. The horses are unhitched. The kitchen is open. You take a bite of the biscuit. It is crunchy on the outside, soft and steaming on the inside. It tastes of sourdough tang and bacon grease. It is the best thing you have ever eaten. The rain continues to beat on the canvas fly, a steady, sheltering rhythm. Pat, 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 pat. The fire hisses as a stray drop falls into the coals. You are full. You are dry. You are safe. The Chuckwagon watches over the camp, the mother ship of the plains. The drawers are closed. The flour is sealed. The sourdough sleeps in its keg. The mechanism of survival is at rest. Let the image of the white canvas glowing in the dark fill your mind. A tent of light in the sea of grass. You are close to the center. Rest in the shadow of the wagon. Rest in the smell of the bread. Sleep. Chapter 5. The coffee and the beans. The rain has settled into a steady, monotonous rhythm on the canvas fly of the Chuckwagon. It is a drumming sound, constant and protecting. Underneath the canvas, the air is dry and warm, heated by the bed of coals that the cook has carefully raked from the main fire. We have seen the wagon. We have seen the flour and the sourdough. But a meal on the trail is not just about bread. It is about two other pillars of existence: the liquid and the protein, the coffee and the beans. To the cowboy, these are not just food items. They are currency. They are morale. They are the difference between a good day and a miserable one. Let us focus first on the coffee. In 1876, on the Chisholm Trail, you cannot walk into a shop and buy a cup of espresso. You have to brew it. And to brew it, you have to understand the bean. The cook reaches for the yellow sack. It is a paper bag, bright yellow, with a picture of a flying angel on the front. Arbuckle's is Ariosa coffee. This is the coffee that won the West. Before Arbuckle's, cowboys had to buy raw green beans and roast them in a skillet over the fire. It was uneven. It was often burnt. It was bitter. But the Arbuckle brothers in Pittsburgh invented a process. They roasted the beans in a factory. And then, to preserve the flavor and the aroma, they coated the beans in a glaze made of sugar and egg whites. It sealed the bean. It kept the oxygen out. It kept the freshness in. The cook opens the bag. The smell that escapes is intense. It is a heavy, sweet, roasted scent. It smells of civilization. It smells of comfort. He pours the beans into the grinder bolted to the side of the wagon box. The beans are shiny. They look like dark, polished river stones. He begins to turn the iron crank. The sound is loud in the quiet camp. A mechanical gnashing, the iron teeth of the grinder crushing the hard beans. He does not grind them into a fine powder like modern espresso. He grinds them coarse, rough chunks of bean. He pours the grounds into the big ginny, the gallon pot. It is a massive coffee pot made of enameled steel, speckled blue and white. It is battered. It has dents in the side from where it banged against the wagon on the trail. The bottom is black with soot from 1,000 fires. He pours water from the barrel into the pot. He sets the pot directly onto the red-hot coals. Now, we wait for the boil. You are standing near the fire. You watch the steam begin to rise from the spout. At first, it is just a wisp. Then, a steady stream. The water inside begins to rumble. The lid rattles. Clink, clink, clink. The smell changes. It stops smelling like dry beans and starts smelling like coffee. A dark, acidic, rich vapor that mixes with the wood smoke. It hangs low in the damp air under the canvas. The cook does not let it boil too long. If you boil it too long, it tastes like battery acid. He lifts the pot off the coals with a hook. But there is a problem. The grounds are floating in the water. If you poured it now, you would chew your coffee. So he performs the settling. He takes a cup of cold water. He pours it into the boiling pot. Shock. The sudden change in temperature forces the grounds to sink to the bottom. Or, if he has them, he drops in eggshells. The calcium in the shells clarifies the liquid and pulls the grounds down. The coffee is ready. It is not the weak brown water of a roadside diner. This is 6-shooter coffee. They say it is strong enough to float a horseshoe. It is thick. It is oily. It is black as the night outside. He pours you a cup. The tin cup gets hot instantly. You have to hold it by the rim or wrap your bandana around it. You lift it to your face. The steam warms your nose. You take a sip. It scalds the tongue. It is bitter, but in a good way. It wakes up the senses. It warms the stomach. It is the heat of the fire, transferred into liquid, transferred into you. Now, the beans. If coffee is the spirit of the camp, beans are the body. The cowboys call them pecos strawberries, or whistleberries. They are pinto beans, small, speckled, brown, and pink stones. The cooking of the beans is a process that takes time. It cannot be rushed. The cook started these beans last night. He took a sack of dry beans. He poured them into a pot. He picked out the small rocks and the dirt clods. He covered them with water. He let them soak all night while you slept. As they soaked, they drank the water. They swelled up. Their skins softened. They came back to life. This morning, before the drive started, he poured off the water. He put the swollen beans into the heavy cast-iron pot. He added the flavor. A slab of salt pork. This is not bacon. It is the fat from the back of the pig, cured in heavy salt. It is white and dense. He cut it into cubes. He dropped them in. He added molasses, thick, dark, sweet syrup. He added a handful of dried chilies. He hung the pot under the wagon on the coupe so it could swing while they drove. Or if the drive was slow, he cooked them in the morning. But tonight, they are finishing. The pot sits on the coals next to the coffee. The beans are bubbling. Blup, blup, blup. The sauce has thickened. It has turned a deep reddish brown. The starches from the beans have created a gravy. The salt pork has dissolved, leaving only its richness behind. The smell is savory and sweet. It is a heavy smell. It anchors you. You watch the cook stir the pot. He uses a long iron spoon. He moves it slowly, careful not to mash the beans. He wants them tender, but whole. He tastes a spoonful. He nods. He adds a final pinch of salt. The beans are done. And finally, the meat. Sometimes there is fresh beef. If a steer was injured, they would butcher it. Son of a gun stew. But usually it is bacon or sobelly. The cook takes a heavy, cast-iron skillet. It is 18 inches wide. It is black, slick with years of seasoning. He places it on the coals. He lays the strips of bacon in the pan. Sizzle. The sound is aggressive. The fat renders instantly. The white stripes turn clear. The red meat turns dark. The grease pops. Pop. Snap. The smell of frying bacon is the most powerful scent in the world. It cuts through the coffee. It cuts through the rain. It triggers a primal hunger. It is the smell of protein. The smell of energy. The cook flips the slices with a fork. They are crisp. They are golden. He lifts them out and puts them on a tin plate to drain. The meal is assembled. Biscuits, beans, bacon, coffee. The 4 B's of the trail. It is a brown meal. There are no green salads here. There are no fresh fruits. It is food meant to fuel muscle and generate heat. You take your plate. It is a simple disc of stamped tin. It has scratches on it from 1,000 knives. The cook ladles the beans onto the plate. They spread out. He puts 2 slices of bacon on top. He adds a biscuit from the Dutch oven. He hands it to you. The plate is heavy. It is hot. The heat transfers through the tin into your hands. It feels good. You turn away from the fire. You look for a place to sit. There are no chairs. There are no tables. You find a spot under the shelter of the canvas fly, a dry patch of ground, or a rolled-up bedroll. You sit down. You settle into the cowboy squat, heels down, knees bent, balancing effortlessly. Or you sit cross-legged, resting the plate on your knees. You look around the circle. The other men are eating. There is very little talking. When men are truly hungry, they do not speak. They focus on the food. The only sounds are the clinking of forks on tin, clink, scrape, and the sound of chewing, and the sound of the rain on the canvas above. You take a bite. The beans are soft. They melt in your mouth. They taste of earth and salt and the sweetness of the molasses. The bacon is crunchy. It provides the salt. The biscuit is dense and warm. You use it to sop up the bean juice. You wipe the plate clean with the bread. This is the sop. It is the best part. The mixture of the flour and the gravy. You eat slowly. You are not just filling your stomach. You are warming your core. As the food hits your stomach, the blood rushes there to digest it. Your extremities feel warm. Your toes, which were called from the mud, begin to tingle. The itis sets in, the lethargy of a full belly, the tension of the day, the vigilance of the herd, the worry about the storm. It all dissolves. You are full. You finish the last bite. You scrape the plate. You drink the last of the coffee. The grounds at the bottom are gritty, but you don't mind. You stand up. You walk to the wreck pan, a large tin tub filled with soapy water near the fire. You drop your plate and cup into the water. Splash. You have done your part. You walk back to the fire. You stand there for a moment, your back to the flames. You warm your backside. You look out at the night. The rain has stopped falling hard. Now it is just a mist, a soft, damp breath from the sky. The firelight reflects off the wet spokes of the wagon wheels. It reflects off the brass fittings on the harness hanging from the wagon tongue. Everything glitters. The cook is cleaning up. He scrapes the Dutch oven. He wipes it with a greasy rag to keep it from rusting. He puts the lid back on the coffee pot to keep it warm for the night watch. He closes the drawers of the chuck box. Slide. Thud. The kitchen is closing. The food is secured. The sourdough is safe. The coffee is waiting. The domestic work is done. Now, there is only the social hour. The brief time between eating and sleeping. You sit back down on your bedroll. You reach into your vest pocket. You pull out a small cotton sack. Bull Durham tobacco. You pull out a packet of papers. Rice paper. You shake a little line of tobacco into the paper. You pull the drawstring of the sack with your teeth. You roll the cigarette. It is a practiced motion. Your fingers know the feel of the paper. You lick the edge. You seal it. You lean forward to the fire. You pick up a small twig, glowing red on one end. You touch it to the tobacco. Puff. The smoke rises. It mixes with the wood smoke. You lean back. You watch the smoke drift up into the darkness. This is the moment of total relaxation. You are fed. You are dry. You are warm. The caffeine from the coffee buzzes gently in your head, but it doesn't keep you awake. It just makes the moment sharper. It makes you appreciate the fire. You look at the faces of your companions, the weather-beaten faces, the lines around the eyes from squinting at the sun. They look soft in the firelight. They are not hard men right now. They are just tired men. Someone takes out a harmonica. They tap it against their leg to clear the spit. They begin to play. It is not a fast song. It is a slow, mournful tune. The streets of Laredo, or Shenandoah, the notes float out into the prairie night. They sound thin and lonely against the vastness of the dark. But they also sound beautiful. The music weaves through the camp. It wraps around the wagon. It drifts out to where the horses are picketed. You listen to the melody. It rises and falls like the breath of the sleeper. You feel your eyes getting heavy. The fire is mesmerizing. The coals are pulsing, breathing, red, then gray, red, then gray. You are ready to lie down. The transition from the vertical to the horizontal is calling you. The coffee has done its job. It warmed you. Now the warmth is spreading to your eyelids. You look at the wagon one last time. The white canvas top glows like a lantern. It is the lighthouse of the plains. The drawers are shut. The beans are eaten. The cycle of consumption is over. Now begins the cycle of restoration. You put out your cigarette. You grind it into the mud. You stand up slowly. You stretch. You walk toward your bedroll. The ground is waiting. The earth is waiting to hold you. The meal is a memory. The taste is a memory. But the feeling of fullness remains. Heavy, satisfied, still. Rest in the fullness. Rest in the camp. Sleep. Chapter 6. The circle of light. The tin plates have been washed. The wreck pan has been emptied into the brush. The cook has wiped down the tailgate of the chuckwagon and latched the drawers of the chuck box. The kitchen is closed. The work of sustenance is finished. Now begins the work of community. We are entering the circle of light. The sun has been gone for an hour now. The twilight has deepened into true night. The vast, blue-black dome of the sky presses down on the flat earth. The horizon has disappeared, erasing the boundary between the land and the heavens. There are no landmarks out here. There are no mountains visible in the dark. There are no lights from distant farmhouses, because there are no farmhouses. There is only the void. And in the center of the void, there is the fire. It is a small, localized sun. It creates a sphere of visibility about 20 feet across. Inside this sphere, there is color, warmth, and safety. Outside the sphere, there is only the wind and the grass. You are sitting on a log that has been dragged near the warmth. You have your back to the wagon wheel. You are inside the sphere. Let us look at the fire itself. It is built of mesquite wood. This is the fuel of the Southwest. It is a gnarled, twisted wood, hard as iron. It burns hot and slow. It does not pop and spark like pine. It glows. The flames are low now. They are no longer the aggressive cooking flames that fried the bacon. They are talking flames. Soft, orange, dancing lazily in the light breeze. At the base of the fire is the bed of coals, a deep, pulsing heart of ruby red. You stare into the coals. It is the oldest television screen in human history, the caveman TV. You watch the patterns change. A log shifts, clink. A shower of tiny sparks rises up, swirling in the thermal updraft, turning into fireflies before they vanish into the cool air. You feel the heat on your face. It creates a pleasant tightness in the skin. It dries the dampness of the rain from your eyebrows. You turn your palms toward the fire. You watch the lines on your hands, illuminated by the orange glow. The other men are gathered around. There are 12 of you in total. A small company of travelers on a frozen ocean of grass. The seating arrangement is unspoken, but rigid. The cook sits nearest the wagon on his vinegar keg. It is his throne. The trail boss sits opposite him, leaning back on his saddle. The older hands, the top hands, sit on their bedrolls, close to the warmth. The wranglers, the young boys who watch the horses, sit a little further back, on the edge of the light. Everyone is settled. The posture of the cowboy at rest is a study in conservation. They do not sit stiffly. They sprawl. They lounge. They unbutton their vests. They push their hats back on their heads, revealing pale foreheads that haven't seen the sun. They are tending to their gear. This is the time for mending. Next to you, a man is working on a bridle. A leather strap has snapped during the day. He holds the leather in his rough hands. He takes an awl, a sharp spike with a wooden handle. He presses it through the leather. Push. Twist. He threads a waxed linen string through the hole. Pull. Tighten. It is a slow, repetitive motion. He is not rushing. He is focused on the stitch. Push, twist, thread, pull. There is a quiet satisfaction in fixing things, in making them whole again. Another man is whittling. He has a piece of cedar wood and a pocket knife. He is not carving anything specific. He is just making shavings. He slices the wood. Long, curling ribbons of cedar fall to the ground. The smell of the fresh wood mixes with the smoke. He is shaving away time. The sound of the knife through the wood is a soft shh. Click. You listen to the conversation. It is sparse. Cowboys are not known for their speeches. They speak in a shorthand of the trail. Grass was good today. Yep. River crossing tomorrow. Yep, she's running high. Muddy. Long pauses between sentences. The silence is not awkward. It is comfortable. It is a shared silence. You do not need to fill the air with noise to prove you are friends. You just need to be there. The presence of the others is enough. You look at their boots. High-heeled boots with spur straps. They are caked in dried mud. They are crossed at the ankles. You look at their hands. Rolling cigarettes. Pouring the last dregs of the coffee. This is the brotherhood of the fire. You are all tired. Your muscles ache in the same places, the lower back, the knees, the shoulders. You all smell the same, wet wool, sweat, and horses. You all want the same thing, sleep. But you are delaying the sleep. You are stretching out this moment of comfort, because once you leave the fire, you are alone in the dark. Someone reaches into their pocket. They pull out a harmonica. It is a small instrument, silver and wood, a French harp. He taps it against his thigh to clear the dust. Tap, tap. He brings it to his lips. He cups his hands around it to shape the sound. He breathes in. Hum. A chord floats out. He begins to play. He does not play a fast, jaunty tune. He plays a ballad. The Red River Valley, or Shenandoah. The notes are thin and reedy. They tremble in the air. The sound of the harmonica is the sound of the prairie. It is mournful, but sweet. It mimics the sound of the wind. The music drifts away from the fire. It travels out into the darkness. It reaches the herd a mile away. The cattle hear it. Their ears flick. It calms them. It tells them the humans are nearby. It reaches the coyotes on the ridge. They stop howling to listen. You close your eyes and listen to the melody. It rises and falls. It bends. The player draws out the low notes. He adds a vibrato with his hand. Wah, wah, wah. It is a lullaby for grown men. The music weaves through the camp, tying everyone together. The man whittling stops his knife. The man mending the bridle stops his needle. They just listen. The fire pops. Snap. A spark flies up. You watch the spark rise. It joins the stars. The connection between the fire and the stars is clear tonight. The fire is just a star that you have captured and brought down to earth to keep you warm. The song ends. The notes fade. Mighty fine, someone whispers. Mighty fine. Silence returns. But it is a softer silence now. The music has scrubbed the air. The trail boss stands up. He stretches. He's a tall, lean man with a mustache that droops over his mouth. He takes out a pocket watch. A heavy gold watch on a chain. He opens the lid. He tilts it toward the firelight to read the face. 9 o'clock, he says. It is the signal. The social hour is over. The working day is officially done. He looks at the roster, a piece of paper nailed to the wagon board. Jones, Smith, your first watch. 2 men stand up. They groan slightly as their stiff joints unfold. They are the Nighthawks, the guards. They have to leave the warmth. They have to go out into the wet grass, saddle their night horses, and ride circles around the herd for 2 hours. You feel a wave of sympathy for them, but also a wave of relief. It is not your turn. Your watch is later. Or maybe you have the night off. You watch them walk away from the fire. They step out of the circle of light. One moment, they are illuminated. Their red bandanas, their tan vests. The next moment, they are silhouettes. Then, they are gone. Swallowed by the night. You hear the jingle of their spurs fading away. Ching, ching, ching. You hear them mounting their horses, the creak of the saddle, the soft hoofbeats moving away. They are out there. Because they are out there, watching for wolves, watching for lightning, watching for a stampede, you are safe in here. They are the wall, the circle of the camp contracts. There are fewer people now. The energy drops lower. The cook takes a bucket of water. He does not pour it on the fire. That would ruin the coals for breakfast. He sprinkles water around the edge of the fire pit. Hiss! He is banking the fire. He takes a shovel and covers the red coals with a layer of ash. The bright light dims. The orange glow turns to a dull, sleepy gray-red. It is like closing an eye. The heat is still there, trapped under the ash, ready for the morning. But the light is gone. The camp becomes a place of shadows. You can see the shapes of the bedrolls laid out on the ground. The bedroll. This is your home. It is not a building, it is a bundle. It consists of a waterproof canvas tarp, the sugan, about 14 feet long. Inside are heavy wool blankets, quilts made by mothers back in Texas. You walk to your bedroll. It is lying on a flat patch of ground, sheltered by a sagebrush bush. You kneel down. You unbuckle the straps. You unroll it. Flap. The canvas spreads out on the grass. It looks inviting. You sit on top of it. You take off your boots. This is the moment of the day you have been waiting for. You grab the heel of your left boot. You pull. It resists. The leather is wet and swollen. You grunt. You pull harder. Pop. The boot slides off. The cool air hits your sock. It feels incredible. The pressure on your foot is released. The blood flows back into your toes. You wiggle them. You take off the other boot. Pop. You place your boots by the head of your bed. You place your hat on top of your boots to protect it. You do not take off your clothes. It is too cold. And you might need to ride in an emergency. You take off your vest. You loosen your belt. You unbutton your collar. That is enough. You slide between the blankets. The wool is rough, but it warms up instantly from your body heat. You pull the long tail of the canvas tarp up over your head. You are now a cowboy burrito. You are sealed in. The canvas blocks the wind. It blocks the damp. You lie on your back. The ground is hard. You can feel the bumps of the earth through the bedding. But after 12 hours in the saddle, the hardness feels good. It flattens out your spine. It supports you. You push the canvas back from your face just a little. You want to see the sky. You look up. The clouds have cleared completely now. The storm is a memory in the east. The sky is a staggering display of depth. The Milky Way. It looks like steam rising from a pot. A river of white light flowing across the black. You can see the depth of it. Layers of stars behind stars. The big sky of the west. It makes you feel tiny. You are just a warm spot on the prairie. You listen to the sounds of the camp settling down. You hear the breathing of the man next to you. A slow, rhythmic snore. You hear the horse picketed nearby cropping the grass. Crunch. Crunch. You hear the crickets chirp. Chirp. And way off in the distance, you hear the singing of the night watch. A faint, high voice. "Oh, slow up, doggies. Quit roving around." He is singing to the cows. The song drifts on the wind. It is a thread of sound that connects you to him. He is awake so you can sleep. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for the system. The wagon, the cook, the fire, the watch. It works. You are fed. You are warm. You are guarded. Your thoughts begin to slow down. The image of the trail fades. The dust fades. You focus on the warmth of the blankets. You focus on the heaviness of your legs. Gravity is pulling you down into the grass. You are rooting yourself. The earth is spinning, but you are still. The fire is banking. The light is gone. The circle is closed. You are safe inside the circle. There is nothing left to do. The herd is sleeping. The world is sleeping. Let go. Drift into the canvas dark. Rest. Rest. Sleep. Chapter 7. The Night Watch. The fire has burned down to a bed of glowing red coals, covered by a thin layer of grey ash. The harmonica has fallen silent. The men around the wagon have dispersed, retreating to their bedrolls, becoming motionless shapes on the dark ground. The camp is asleep. But you are not asleep. You are the night hawk. It is your turn to take the watch. You stand up from the log where you were sitting. You stretch your back. You feel the stiffness of the day's ride, but also a new energy. The night air is crisp and cold. It wakes you up. You walk away from the fire. You step out of the circle of light. The transition is instant. One moment, you are in the warm, orange glow of the domestic world. The next, you are in the blue-black void of the prairie. Your eyes take a moment to adjust. You blink. Slowly, the world reveals itself. It is not pitch black. It is lit by the stars. You walk toward the picket line, the rope stretched between two stakes where the horses are tied. You are not riding your day horse. The horse you rode through the storm is tired. He needs to rest. You are taking your night horse. This is a special animal. He is chosen for specific traits. He is not the fastest. He is not the strongest. He is the calmest. He has night eyes. He can see a badger hole in the pitch dark. He has a sixth sense for the mood of the cattle. You find him in the line, a dark bay gelding. He is resting a hind leg, his head low. You approach him softly. You speak to him in a low murmur. Easy, boy. Time to work. You run your hand along his neck. His coat is warm and thick. He smells of grass and dust. He creates a little cloud of steam when he exhales. You take your saddle off the rail. It is heavy. You swing it onto his back. Thump. He grunts slightly, expanding his chest against the weight. You reach under his belly for the cinch. You pull it tight. The leather groans. You slip the bit into his mouth. The metal clinks against his teeth. You mount up. You turn him away from the wagon. You ride out into the dark. You are heading for the bedding ground. It is about a quarter of a mile away. The trail boss keeps the herd far enough from the wagon so that the noise of the camp doesn't disturb the cattle, but close enough to reach in an emergency. You ride through the sagebrush. The horse picks his way carefully. He lifts his feet high. You can see the herd before you hear it. It looks like a dark lake in the middle of the grass, a vast, shadowy mass that blots out the bottom stars. 2,000 animals lying down. You rein in your horse. You stop at the edge of the mass. You listen. This is the sound of peace. It is a low, collective breathing. In, out, in, out. 2,000 lungs expanding and contracting. Occasionally you hear the crunch of a jaw chewing the cud, a rhythmic grinding sound, or the sigh of a steer shifting its weight. You begin your patrol. The night watch is a solitary job. You are the only thing moving in a stationary world. You ride in a slow circle around the perimeter of the herd. You ride at a walk. You do not trot. You do not want to startle them. Your job is to be a container. You are the fence. As long as you are riding, the cattle know they are held. They know the boundary. You look at the shapes of the sleeping animals. They are curled up, legs tucked under them. Their massive horns are silhouettes against the sky. Some of them are awake, chewing, staring into the dark with wide, reflective eyes. When your horse passes, their eyes catch the starlight. They flash green. They watch you pass. They are not afraid. They know you. You are the predator that became the protector. You ride. The circle is large. It takes 20 minutes to ride all the way around. You fall into a rhythm. Clop, 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 clop. The horse's hooves are muffled by the thick grass. It is a soft, thudding sound. You feel the cool air on your face. The rainstorm earlier has scrubbed the atmosphere. The air is incredibly pure. It tastes of ozone and wet soil. You look up at the sky. This is the cowboy's clock, the Great Dipper. It swings around the North Star like the hand of a giant watch. You check its position. The handle is pointing down. It is early in the watch. You have 2 hours to ride. You do not feel impatient. You feel small. Under this dome of stars, your life feels simple. You have one task: keep the cows asleep. You begin to sing. This is not for entertainment. This is a tool. The night song. Cattle are nervous creatures at night. A sudden noise, a snapping twig, a coyote howl can startle them. If one jumps up, they all jump up. Panic spreads like a contagion, a stampede. To prevent this, the nighthawk makes a continuous low noise, a drone. It tells the cattle, "I am here. I am moving." That noise you hear is just me. It masks the other sounds of the night. You do not sing loud. You hum. You sing old ballads, hymns, or just nonsense words. "Oh, slow up, doggies. Quit roving around." Your voice is low and gravelly. It vibrates in your chest. The horse's ears flick back to listen to you. The cattle lower their heads. The sound acts like a sedative. It creates a lullaby effect. You ride past the other guard. There are 2 of you on watch, riding in opposite directions. You see his silhouette approaching out of the dark, the glow of his cigarette. You pass each other. "All quiet," he says softly. "Quiet as a church," you reply. You pass. He disappears into the dark behind you. You are alone again. You look at the horizon. It is a flat, black line. You think about the distance you have traveled. Texas is weeks behind you. Kansas is weeks ahead. You are in the middle. The no man's land. But it doesn't feel empty. It feels full. It is full of grass. It is full of wind. It is full of space. The solitude of the night watch is a rare thing. In the wagon, you are surrounded by men. You are never alone. But out here, there is no one to talk to. You turn your thoughts inward. You think about the simple things. The feel of the leather reins in your gloved hand. The warmth of the saddle. The ache in your knee. You accept them. This is stoicism on horseback. You accept the cold. You accept the dark. You do not wish to be in a warm bed in the city. You are content to be here. The horse stumbles slightly. Stumble. Recover. He is tired too. You pat his neck. Steady. You stop the horse for a moment. You want to listen to the silence. You sit perfectly still. The saddle creaks as the horse shifts his weight. You hold your breath. The silence of the prairie is heavy. It presses against your ears. It is not a dead silence. It is a living silence. You can hear the wind moving through the grass a mile away. Shh. You can hear a cricket chirping near your stirrup. Chirp. Chirp. You can hear the digestive rumble of the nearest steer. It is a textured silence. You look at the steer nearest you. He is a big one, a brindled giant. He is asleep. His head is resting on his front legs. His breath puffs out in little white clouds. He is dreaming. Do cattle dream? You wonder. Maybe he dreams of green grass. Maybe he dreams of water. Maybe he dreams of the calves he left behind. You feel a connection to him. You are both mammals on the plain. You are both warm blood in a cold night. You nudge the horse. You start walking again. The circle continues. Round and round. It is a mandala, a circle of protection. You are weaving a net of safety around the herd. Your mind begins to drift. The rhythm of the horse acts like a rocking chair. Clop, clop, clop. You are halfway between waking and sleeping. You are in the alpha state. Your eyes are open, but you are dreaming. You dream of the destination. Abilene, the railhead, the noise of the train, the steam whistle. But that seems loud and aggressive compared to this. You prefer this. The quiet. You look at the Big Dipper again. The handle has moved. It has rotated. Time is passing. The night is turning. You feel the cold seeping into your bones. It is the deep chill of the pre-dawn hours. You pull your collar up. You tuck your chin down. You are a bundle of wool and leather. You are insulated. The horse is warm beneath you. His body heat rises up and warms your legs. You are a centaur, half man, half horse. You trust him to place his feet. You trust him to see the holes. You close your eyes for a few seconds, just to rest them. You feel the sway. Left, right. It is mesmerizing. You snap your eyes open. You cannot sleep. You are the watch. You hum the song again. Oh, lay still, doggies, lay still. The cattle are statues. They have not moved. The night is static. It feels like it could last forever. A night without end. And that would be okay. There is no rush. The grass is not going anywhere. You ride the circle one more time. You see a faint movement near the wagon. Two shadows detach themselves from the darkness. The relief watch. They are walking toward the horse line. Your shift is almost over. You feel a wave of relaxation wash over you. The duty is done. You have held the line. You watch them saddle up. You hear the low murmur of their voices. They ride out to meet you. You meet them at the edge of the herd. Quiet, they ask. Dead quiet, you say. You turn your horse toward the wagon. You leave the herd in their hands. You pass the baton of responsibility. The ride back to camp feels different. You are no longer on duty. You are free. The horse walks faster. He knows he is going to be unsaddled. He knows there is grain waiting. You see the embers of the fire. A dull red eye watching you. You ride into the camp. You dismount. Your legs are stiff. You wobble slightly as you hit the ground. You undo the cinch. You pull the saddle off. It is heavy, warm, and damp with sweat. You lay it on the ground. You rub the horse's back. You turn him loose. He shakes himself. A loud, flapping sound in the quiet. He walks away to graze. You are alone again. But now, you are not the guardian. You are the sleeper. You walk toward your bedroll. The ground looks inviting. The canvas tarp looks like the finest silk sheets in the world. You have earned this rest. You have ridden the dark. You have sung the song. You have kept the watch. Now, the watch is over. The silence of the prairie follows you to your bed. It wraps around you. You are safe. The herd is safe. The night is holding everything in its hands. Rest. Rest in the job well done. Sleep. Chapter 8. The Canvas Bed. The night watch is over. You have handed the reins of the night horse to the relief rider. You have watched him disappear into the darkness, taking the burden of the herd with him. You are no longer responsible for the cattle. You are no longer responsible for the perimeter. You are responsible only for yourself. You walk back toward the center of the camp. The fire is a bed of gray ash now, hiding a pulse of red heat deep within. The wagon looms like a silent white cliff in the starlight. Around it, the dark shapes of the sleeping men look like boulders scattered on the prairie floor. It is time to build your own nest. In the modern world, a bed is a piece of furniture. It waits for you in a room. It has legs. It has a mattress. It is stationary. But here, on the open range in 1876, a bed is a tool. It is a piece of equipment that you carry with you. It is mobile. It is heavy. And it is the most important possession you have. It is called the bedroll. You walk to the side of the wagon where the bedrolls are stacked. They are piled up like logs, covered by a heavy tarp to keep the afternoon rain off. You find yours. You know it by the feel of the leather straps. You know it by the knot you tied this morning. You drag it out. It is heavy. It weighs 40 or 50 pounds. It is a dense cylinder of canvas and wool. You carry it away from the wagon. You want to be close enough to the fire to feel a ghost of its warmth, but far enough away that you aren't stepped on by the cook in the morning. You look for a spot. Choosing a place to sleep on the ground is an art form. You scan the grass in the dim light. You are looking for flat ground. Even a slight slope can make you roll in the night. You are looking for dry ground. You check the soil with your boot. The rain has soaked in, but the grass acts as a barrier. You are checking for rocks. A rock the size of a walnut feels like a mountain when it is under your ribs at 2 a.m. You are checking for anthills. You are checking for cactus. You find a patch of buffalo grass. It is thick and springy. It creates a natural mattress. You drop the bedroll. Thump. Now, the architecture of sleep begins. You kneel down. The knees of your pants are damp, but you don't mind. You are focused on the construction. You undo the heavy leather buckles. Click, pull, click, pull. The straps fall away. You unroll the bundle. Flap. It spreads out on the grass. It is about 3 feet wide and 7 feet long. Let us examine the materials. The outer layer is the tarp. It is made of heavy 18-ounce cotton duck canvas. It is white, or perhaps a stained tan color. It has been waterproofed. You treated it yourself before the drive began. You painted it with a mixture of linseed oil, beeswax, and turpentine. It is stiff. It crinkles when you move it. It smells of wax and oil. It is a shell. It blocks the wind. It blocks the ground moisture. It blocks the rain. Inside the tarp are the quilts. These are not delicate, fluffy duvets. These are suggans. A suggan is a quilt made for the frontier. It is filled with raw cotton batting or heavy wool. The stitching is simple and strong. It is thick. It is dense. You have 3 of them. One goes on the bottom, over the canvas, to cushion you from the earth. 2 go on top, to press you down and keep the heat in. The fabric of the quilt is flannel or denim. It is soft to the touch, worn smooth by months of use. It smells of you. It smells of tobacco smoke and sagebrush. It smells of home. You smooth out the wrinkles. You want the bed to be flat. Now, you prepare the ground. You do something that every cowboy knows. You use the heel of your boot to dig a hip hole. You find the spot where your hips will rest. You grind your heel into the dirt, twist, grind. You create a shallow depression in the earth, about the size of a soup bowl. This is ergonomics. When you lie on your side, your hip bone will settle into this hole. It keeps your spine straight. It prevents the ache in the morning. It is a tiny modification to the planet to make it fit your body. The bed is ready. Now, you must prepare yourself. You sit down on the edge of the canvas. You take off your hat. This is the first time your head has been uncovered since dawn. The air feels cool on your forehead. You can feel the hat band impression on your skin. You place the hat carefully on the ground, near the head of the bed. You place it upside down, on its crown. This protects the brim from getting bent. It catches the good luck. You take off your vest. You unbutton it slowly. You fold it. You place it inside the hat. You take off your spurs. Jingle. Click. You unbuckle the spur straps. You slide the heavy metal shanks off your heels. You lay them next to the hat. You are disarming your feet. Now, the boots. You grab the heel of the left boot. You pull. Your foot slides out with a soft whoosh. You wiggle your toes in the thick wool sock. The freedom is ecstatic. You pull off the right boot. You do not throw them aside. You stand them up, side by side, at the top of the bedroll. They will serve a purpose tonight. You are not going to undress further. It is too cold. And on the trail, you sleep ready. You sleep in your shirt. You sleep in your pants. You loosen your belt. You unbutton the top button of your trousers. You unbutton your collar. That is enough. You crawl in. You slide your legs down between the layers of the suggans. The wool is cold at first. It shocks your feet. But within seconds, your body heat begins to radiate. The heavy quilts trap the heat. A microclimate forms. You lie back. Your head rests on your pillow. The pillow is your coat or your vest, rolled up and stuffed into a flour sack. Or it is just your boots, covered with your jacket. It is firm. It smells of leather. But it elevates your head. You adjust your hips. You find the hip hole you dug. Shift. Settle. You drop into it. The relief is instantaneous. Your lower back releases. The tension that has held you upright in the saddle for 12 hours dissolves. The ground pushes up against you. It is hard, yes, but it is solid. It is supportive. It is not a lumpy mattress that sags. It is the earth itself. You feel grounded in the most literal sense. You are connected to the continent. Now, the final step. The tuck. You reach down and grab the edges of the canvas tarp. The tarp is extra wide. You pull one side over you. Then you pull the other side over that. You overlap them. Then you reach above your head. The tarp is extra long, about 7 feet long. It has a flap at the top. You pull the flap down over your head. You are now completely sealed. You are inside the cowboy burrito. It is dark inside the canvas, pitch black. The air inside is still. It warms up rapidly. You can feel your own breath reflecting off the canvas. This is your private room. Outside, there might be wind. There might be dew falling. There might be a coyote watching. But inside the heavy duck canvas, you are invisible. You are protected. For a moment, you feel claustrophobic. The weight of the quilts and the heavy tarp presses down on your chest. But then, the feeling changes. It becomes a feeling of being held. It is like a weighted blanket. The pressure signals your nervous system to calm down. You listen. The canvas muffles the sounds of the night. The wind sounds distant. The crickets sound like they are far away. You hear the sound of the canvas rubbing against itself as you breathe. Crinkle. Hush. Crinkle. Hush. It is a dry, papery sound. You push the top flap back, just a few inches. You want to breathe the fresh air. You want to see the stars. You create a small window, a triangle of night sky visible through the opening of your bedroll. You can see a single star. It is blue-white. It twinkles in the cold air. You watch it. It seems to be watching you back. You think about the other men sleeping around you. 12 canvas mounds scattered on the prairie. 12 islands of warmth. You are alone in your bag, but you are together in the camp. The fire pops. You hear the faint thud of a piece of wood falling in the ash. You feel the vibration of a horse walking nearby. The ground conducts the sound better than the air. Thump, thump, thump. It is the nighthawk riding his rounds. The vibration travels through the earth, through the canvas, into your spine. It rocks you. You think about the day. You think about the river crossing, the cold water swirling around the horse's legs. You think about the dust of the drag. You think about the taste of the beans. They feel like distant memories now. They belong to the vertical world. Now you are in the horizontal world. The rules are different here. There is no hierarchy here. The trail boss sleeps on the ground just like you. The cook sleeps on the ground. Gravity treats everyone the same. Your body begins to shut down. Your feet, which were throbbing, are now just warm, heavy weights at the end of the bed. Your hands, curled into loose fists, rest on your chest. You focus on the warmth. It is a dry heat. The canvas breathes just enough to let the moisture out, but keeps the warmth in. You are an oven. You are generating your own comfort. You think about the materials protecting you. Cotton, grown in the south, woven into heavy duck canvas. Strong, durable. Wool, sheared from sheep in the north. Crimped fibers that trap air. Leather, the boots by your head, the straps of the bedroll. You are wrapped in the products of the land. You are not separated from nature by concrete and plastic. You are insulated by nature. A breeze picks up. You see the flap of the canvas flutter. Flap. You reach up and pull it tighter. You tuck the edge under your shoulder. You seal the leak. The wind whistles over the top of you. It is aerodynamic. The bedroll is a low profile. The wind cannot grab it. It flows over you like water over a stone. You are a stone, heavy, immovable. You sink deeper into the hip hole. The earth seems to rise up to meet you. It molds to your shape. You realize that this is how humans have slept for 100,000 years. On the ground, under skins, under the sky. It feels right. It feels correct. Your modern anxieties, if you had any, would seem ridiculous here. There are no emails on the prairie. There are no deadlines. There is only the sunrise, and it is 8 hours away. 8 hours of nothing. 8 hours of blank canvas. You let your eyes close. The single star disappears. The blackness of the canvas eyelids takes over. You listen to your heart. Thump, thump, thump. It is slow. It is strong. It matches the rhythm of the horse. It matches the rhythm of the rain that has passed. You are drifting. You are no longer on the prairie. You are floating in the warmth. The canvas holds you. The wool holds you. The earth holds you. You are safe. You are hidden. You are warm. Rest in the bundle. Rest in the weight. Sleep. Chapter 9. The Big Sky. The camp has fallen into absolute stillness. The Chuckwagon is a silent white ghost in the darkness. The fire has finally surrendered, turning from a bed of red coals to a mound of grey, cooling ash. The smoke has thinned to a wisp, drifting straight up into the breathless air. You are lying in your bedroll. You are warm. You are heavy. You have pushed the canvas flap back from your face. You want to drink the air. It is the purest air on the continent. It has traveled over 1,000 miles of grass to reach you. It tastes of ozone from the storm and the spicy, resinous scent of the sagebrush. You open your eyes. You look up. You are looking at the big sky. In the cities of the future, the sky will be hidden. It will be bleached by streetlights and neon. It will be a dull, orange haze. But here, in 1876, the sky is the dominant feature of the world. It is a dome of crushing weight and beauty. It is not black. It is a deep, vibrant violet blue, dusted with silver. The Milky Way. It stretches from the northern horizon to the southern horizon. It looks like a river of milk that has been spilled across the obsidian floor of the night. You can see the depth of it. It is not a flat painting. You can see stars behind stars behind stars. Layers of light. The stars are so bright they seem to vibrate, twinkle, pulse. You pick out the constellations. The Great Bear, turning slowly around the pole. Orion, the hunter, rising in the east. His belt is 3 perfect diamonds. The Pleiades, the 7 sisters. A tiny cluster of fuzz, like a thumbprint of light. The vastness of it presses down on you. Usually, big things make us feel small and anxious. But tonight, the scale is comforting. If the universe is this big, then your problems are microscopic. The trail you have to ride tomorrow is just a scratch on the earth. The herd is just a handful of dust. You are just a pair of eyes watching the show. You feel a sense of cosmic indifference. The stars do not care if you reach Kansas. They do not care if it rains. They just burn. And because they do not care, you are free. You are released from importance. You listen to the night. It is not silent. It is a textured tapestry of soft sounds. You hear the coyote. He is far away, maybe 2 miles out on a ridge. Yip, 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 hoo. It is a lonely sound, high and thin. It echoes against the emptiness. In a movie, this sound is scary. But here, it is just the song of the neighbor. He is singing to the moon. He is marking his territory. You hear the answer from another coyote, miles to the west. Hoo. They are talking across the void. You hear the horses. The night horses are tied at the picket line. They are resting. You hear one of them blow air through his nose. Pooh, huh, huh, huh. A soft, fluttering sound. You hear the shift of a hoof on the dirt. Crunch. These are the sounds of safety. If the horses are quiet, there is no danger. If the coyotes are singing, the world is normal. You snuggle deeper into the suggans. The wool is scratchy against your neck, but it feels like armor. You feel the heat of your own body trapped inside the bag. It is a furnace. Your feet are warm. Your hands are warm. You think about the ground beneath you, the Great Plains. This soil goes down for miles. Sedimentary rock, limestone, bones of ancient sea creatures from when this land was an ocean. You are sleeping on a graveyard of history. You feel the rotation of the earth. Lying flat on your back, looking at the stars, you can almost feel the planet turning, rolling east, carrying you toward the sunrise. But the sunrise is hours away. You have the middle watch to sleep through, the deep, dark belly of the night. You close your eyes, but the image of the stars remains. They are burned into your retina, a map of light. You think about the trail ahead, the Red River, the Washita, the Arkansas, rivers of water crossing the river of grass. You will cross them one by one. You do not need to cross them tonight. Tonight, you are stationary. You are a stone in the stream. The wind blows over you. Shh. It flows over the curve of the canvas tarp. It flows over the white top of the Chuckwagon. It flows over the horns of the sleeping cattle. It connects everything. You feel your breath slowing down. It matches the wind. In. The wind blows. Out. The wind fades. You are dissolving. The definition of your body is fading. You are melting into the bedroll. The bedroll is melting into the grass. You are part of the prairie. You are wild. You are free. You are asleep. The cowboy's work is done. The drive is paused. There is no more distance to cover. You have arrived at the destination. The destination is here. The destination is now. Let the darkness wash over you. Cool, vast, silent. The fire is out. The ash is cold. The stars are watching. You are safe under the big sky. Rest. Rest in the grass. Sleep.